What makes the abandoned become the most wanted? Today, we're going to talk about the parable of Greenland. Greenland is a nation, is a big island on the Arctic side of the world towards the North Pole. And in the olden days, men who wanted to explore the North Pole always went through Greenland. It was one of the few places that civilization was. However, at the time, Greenland was important and strategic to the nations, the world powers. And if you're in the news currently, you will see that all of a sudden Greenland is on the news. But some world powers are trying to see how they can take hold of that island. But what happened to a place that was neglected for so long? Why did all of a sudden the neglected become so important? So a brief history of Greenland is it's a nation that is frozen. Few people are there. Civilization, moderate. Important, well, not so important. At the point, it was important to the US because it was strategic in the Cold War to monitor Russia. So the US used it as a place because it was close to Russia. They had satellites, had antennas that monitored what Russia was doing, and if they wanted to ever attack the US, they would know from there. However, after tensions died down, the ocean over that place was frozen. US left there, closed down their embassy, sold their military bases, and it became a total forgotten zone. Now, all of a sudden, in the past few years, 5 years or so or more, the US have been going in more than 5 years. The US has been going in. We want this place. They've been going in to get it. Why did a nation abandoned since 1958 or so all of a sudden become so important? So, just to let you know, just for your information, before I get to the message of today, recently the waters have started melting. The ice oceans have started melting, meaning a possible trade route is opening up. And it's a strategic place that has not been harnessed or claimed by any nation. Russia is there, Greenland is there. US is seeing it as a place where they can place a stake to ensure they limit Russia's influence in world trade routes. China is also trying to claim a stake in that. Now, why am I saying all this? All of a sudden, a nation that was abandoned has become important. An island that was neglected by the world. In fact, if I had asked you, probably some of us 3 years ago, you won't even know there's a place called Greenland on the map. But all of a sudden, it's on the headlines. And what does it show you? That what was neglected can become important. What was neglected can become celebrated. What was thrown off the shelf can become the most important. This is the message to you and I. That sometimes when men look down on you, don't abandon yourself. In the Bible, we'll read from Psalm 118 verse 22, and it says, the stone which the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone. The stone that the builders have abandoned, the one who everyone has forgotten, has become the most important stone of today. Now, this reminds me of David in the Bible. Samuel was sent to the house of Jesse to anoint, and he said, call out all your sons. And Jesse brought out all his sons and forgot that there was one existing in Greenland. David, he was in the bush. And Samuel tried, Eliab tried the next, and God said, it is none of these. And Samuel said, don't you have another? And he said, there's one in the bush. And he said, we will not sit down until he comes. And so the one that was neglected became the most important. And David came out, and God said, that is him. And he said, behold, the Lord's anointed. And he anointed him. And from that day, the neglected one began his journey to the throne. What am I saying? There are some of you who your life, your family, your destiny has been silent for long. Nobody has seen you. Nobody has observed you. You've been putting in the hard work. You've been working. You've been praying. You've been waiting. You've been trusting. You've been acting. And it seems like nothing is working. What do? You don't stop existing. You stay, knowing that the stone that was forgotten will become the most important stone. It's a prophecy that speaks to the neglected. a prophecy that speaks to the forgotten, a prophecy that speaks to the abandoned. Today there is a very popular musician in Nigeria, gospel musician, who I got private information from someone close to, who was born out of wedlock. Okay, however, God did not use that to restrict her destiny. She was neglected due to that, but today she's a shining and a burning light. Your foundation does not matter. How you came to this world does not matter. Where you are listening to me from right now does not matter. What you did with your yesterday, yes, may have caused you pain, but it does not matter who has forgotten you, because the Bible says the forgotten stone, the abandoned stone, is about to become the chief cornerstone. The chief cornerstone means the stone from which other stone will take their bearing. When they align the chief cornerstone, every other stone will be aligned to it. And that is what God is about to make of you here. Don't put down or give up on what you are doing. You have put your hand to the plow. Don't turn back. Imagine the nation of Greenland, controlled by Denmark, was closed down some years ago, and they said, we don't have any importance, let's leave. They stayed there, no publicity, living their daily life, and the factors of life came back and made them the most sought after. God is speaking to you. It looks like you are neglected. There are things about to shift in your favor, and you are about to become the most wanted. You are about to become the most desired. You are about to become Beulah. You are about to become Hephzibah. Though you were called forsaken, your time of remembrance is here.